Hello Cherries fans, and welcome to this impromptu video on Cherries Extra. So of course there is some transfer activity at Dean Court. So the first player I wanted to discuss was Nicolas Jackson. There is rumours that this transfer might not go through, mainly because of an injury concern, and the medical failed. I'm hoping that is all false, because he does look an exciting prospect. He's again a youngster, and full of promise. Some of the goals, if you do a little search for him on YouTube, you'll be able to find lots of videos of his passages of play and what he's done. So he's definitely somebody I think that we should keep pursuing, and somebody who does look, like he's going to be a very, very successful player in the future. Of course, Southampton were in for him as well, and the figure being bounded around is about 26 million. So, but of course, we do need somebody to hit the ground running, and if he is going to be out for a period of time, what's that going to do for our chances? We're going to need somebody straight in. So, to be perfectly honest, I think that it would be a good signing from AFC Bournemouth, but let's see where it goes, and hopefully, fingers crossed, these rumours that are being bounded around in the press aren't true. It doesn't look like any of the top journalists, and by top journalists I say the people that you should rely on for AFC Bournemouth content, which is Mark McAdam and Chris Temple. Those two haven't commented on anything on this as yet from what I've seen, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it's all pie in the sky and it'll all go through later on today. Of course, two other signings as well. MATHIAS VIñA from Roma, a very exciting player. Of course, a left back with Roma. But I think personally, it's a good move. But what happens with Jordan Zamora? That's the question, because I think Jordan Zamora has been very, very good, high quality passages of play against Forest. I think he was brilliant. Jadon Anthony, you get a full Jadon Anthony when you got Jordan Zamora behind him. You get full Jordan Zamora when Jadon Anthony's in front of him. So those two work so well together. Where is VIñA going to play? Is he going to be able to slot into that left position? What sort of role is Zamora going to do? Or is VIñA going to play maybe more in the centre? There's a lot of questions to be asked on that front. But he does look a talented player. Of course, it is a loan with an option to buy as well. So that is something that we've just got to keep our eyes peeled and see where it goes from there. And I think one of the most sensible bits of business is Darren Randolph from West Ham. And he is 35 years old, but he is going to be a backup. But he has played in the Premier League for years, and he's a brilliant shot stopper. And personally, whenever I've seen him play for West Ham, I think he's been very, very good. So it's a very good bit of business. What I would now do, if I was Gary O'Neill, Neil Blake, Richard Hughes, is give Travers, if Randolph is coming in, get Travers on loan to somewhere in the Championship. A team that, don't send him on loan to Burnley, for example. A team that are at the right end of the table, firing on all cylinders, that he probably might not even get a game at because their goalkeeper is very, very good himself. Send him on loan to somebody who's a little bit more mid-table, somebody who's needs somebody in that position, and I think it would build his confidence. I think he would do a good job. I think the problem is with Mark Travers. I thought he was fantastic when he made his Premier League debut against Tottenham all that time ago, and that was in a 1-0 win. And then, of course, he lost his place to Aaron Ramsdale, and at the time I was a bit confused by that because I thought, well, Travers has come in, he's done such a good job during that game. Surely he deserves the number 1 jersey. That's why Eddie Howe is a Premier League manager and I'm not. Because, of course, Eddie Howe detected that straight away and thought, right, okay, Aaron Ramsdale, and look at where Ramsdale is now. But I think what we need to do is maybe let Travers has got a great career here, and I say here, I don't want him to go anywhere permanently. He's got a great opportunity here for the future. And personally, send him out on loan to somewhere where he can get a little bit of experience and get that confidence back, because it took a hammering after that Liverpool game. I don't think he's ever really recovered from that. I know that sounds horrible, but I don't think he's ever recovered from that. This league isn't beyond Mark Travers. If Mark Travers is watching this, and I hope, he is watching this bit, it's not beyond Mark Travers. What it is at the moment is a case where it's confidence and maybe, taking that bit of a hit isn't nice. It's not nice. He's been very, very good in our most recent games. But at the same time, the Premier League is such an unforgiving league that we need somebody who can just do the job here and now. And that's why Neto's number 1 choice at the moment. Of course, Darren Randolph isn't going to be a long-term option. He's 35 years old. He's experienced, and he has that bounce back ability because, let's be honest, he's had to do that in the past. But I think it's a very, very astute signing. I think it's a very high quality signing to bring in as a number 2. So I'm happy with that. The only other person I would have said that could have done this was Alex McCarthy of course, who was at Southampton. So, he would have been a good goalkeeper. He's been there, done that, been in the Southampton sides that really struggled at the wrong end of the table. So, yeah, I think, a good signing. Do let us know what you think about these signings coming in. Personally, I still think we need, unless Nicolas Jackson is going to play just off Solanke, I think we need a little bit more firepower, somebody different up front. Jackson does look like he can be a bit of a poacher, which is good. If you watch the clips, you'll probably see what I mean. But, he makes it look easy. He makes it look easy, even though it's not. He doesn't look, the way he plays doesn't look so skillful, but he, tapping the ball through, somebody's legs to set somebody up, is skill in itself. And he does it with such calmness that it looks easy. I still think we need somebody at the centre-back position. And I know some people have disagreed with me on this. Talking about Sylvain Distin, yes, he didn't play that many games for AFC Bournemouth, but the games he did play, he was mightily impressive in. But it's not just that about Sylvain Distin. What Sylvain Distin did was he brought experience into a squad that at that time had 0 experience. Back in 2015, 2016, we had 0 experience across our side. We had none of it. And he brought that experience. I'm sure that Eddie Howe, and from what I know, Eddie Howe was getting those defenders to work with Sylvain Distin. Yes, Nathan Ake coming in, helped in subsequent seasons. But at the same time, Steve Cook, for example, learned a lot off Sylvain Distin, from what I understand. And, he's a very, very good signing. A very, very good signing at the time. And I made a suggestion, Phil Jones. Now, Phil Jones, again, a seasoned Premier League player, played at the very highest level with Manchester United, has been injured for a long period of time. Agree, he is on mega wages. However, Phil Jones, let's talk about him. Phil Jones is a solid centre-back when he needs to be. And when he's called upon, he should be able to, come into a side now, gain his fitness back, over a couple of weeks, and be that Sylvain Distin type player in this side. He might not play every single game for AFC Bournemouth if he did come in. But what I'm trying to say is that experience is important. At the moment, Chris Metham, yes, he's got a bit of experience. Senesi hasn't really adapted to the English game as quickly as we'd like. Of course, both of those players talented. Lloyd Kelly looks a little bit devoid of confidence, but wasn't bad against Nottingham Forest. Felt he could have done better in some scenarios, but he will get there. And I've got faith in him that he will get back to what he was last season, and not what he is now. And personally, I think somebody like Phil Jones would help those players. It might be a case that he only plays 45 minutes a game. He might not be up to the whole 90. We could organise something where he signed a long contract with Manchester United. There's no point in him rotting on Manchester United's bench. There is no point whatsoever. It doesn't do anything for the player. It doesn't do anything for Manchester United. If he comes on loan to Bournemouth and does well, we might sort of not sign him, but it might be a chance for Manchester United to put him in the window and say, right, okay, it's something for Phil to actually put himself into the window and say, look, this is what I can do. This is why he should be paid. Maybe not the money he's on at Manchester United, but, a substantial amount. It makes sense all round. It's low risk. I would say a loan deal is the most sensible option because, of course, then we are paying only a fraction of his wages if we can agree that with Man United. But there is no point in him sitting on their bench, and that's why, personally, I think, this would be a sensible move. By all means, tell me what you think. I know I've been a little bit thrown under the bus for that opinion, but I don't really care because I think, it's a valid opinion. And experience in the centre-back position, we could get away with a youngster up front. In fact, a youngster up front is probably better because you need the legs to get away from the defenders. You need that bit of skill. You need that. Whereas, let's go back to some of the, biggest examples in the Premier League. Michael Owen, in his latter years, great player, one of the best players one of the best strikers in his heyday when he was around about 21, 22 years old that you would see. That's why he went to the clubs he did. In his latter days, the legs went, and that's why an older striker sometimes isn't the best. Whereas an old centre-back, a centre-back should know their position. They should know, right, okay, that's where this striker is. That's how fast, that's what threat he offers. If you're playing him alongside somebody who is a little bit faster, maybe Senesi, then great. That's perfect. Senesi can do the legwork. This old centre-back can then do, the physical presence. He can also has the knowledge and the know-how where to get and where to put his body. So that's why, personally, I think, that would make sense. But let us know what you think. By all means, send in any videos if you wish. And, keep subscribing to the channel and, of course, the main channel as well. Don't forget that, UTCIAD, because there's lots more content coming up. And very, very soon, we'll have another exclusive interview for you. But until then, thanks for joining us.